New tonight, we're learning more details about the person believed to have been responsible for stealing those bronze letters from the Omaha National Cemetery. Well, last night we told you about an arrest warrant filed against 46-year-old Michael Ashcraft in Sarpy County. For now, he's booked in Douglas County in connection to burglary and other theft charges in a different case. A police report from his arrest in early December shows he allegedly took a package that was delivered at his old home. The report says the person who reported the theft allegedly saw Ashcraft on his Ring camera take it. The theft at the Omaha National Cemetery happened in late October, where Papillion police found most of the bronze and brass letters were stolen from the cemetery's front entrance. An arrest warrant reveals officers were tipped off where the letters ended up at a scrapyard. Investigators noticed the ID used to sell the letters belonged to Ashcraft. We have more details on this posted at firstalertsix.com.